You've got, thank you, Kate, or whoever pressed record on that. We've got Bob Granzard, freshly minted agency director, and he is gonna host the next 20 or so minutes here with his freshly minted agency owner. So, Bob, I'll pass it over to you, man.
Appreciate it. How about that, Wilbur? We're center stage now, aren't we?
Big and bold.
Still a little weird.
Big and bold.
Kate, can you put me up there too so I can hang out with
Yes.
them?
Yeah, yeah. Stick to the plan, man.
Hey, I'm
There we
here.
go. Sorry, everybody. We were going to have Hawaiian shirts, but Scott didn't have one yet. So,
Yeah, Kate, by the way, can we put in a request to get the man a Hawaiian shirt? This is
I
kind
just
of
added it to my shopping cart on Amazon. We're good.
yeah, there we go. Appreciate that. We were talking about doing a training video in Hawaiian shirts, weren't we?
Nope.
Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna do that. We're gonna do
Giovanna,
that.
I got to work on you on that one. All right. Well, let's get things kicked off here. Mr. Wilbur Smith. Been a journey, hasn't it?
Indeed.
Yeah, really. It
Indeed.
has been, hasn't it? So did
Yeah.
you imagine you'd be here at this point?
Yeah, I did.
You did.
I did, but not in my opinion, this is candidly speaking, a little delayed. But yes, yeah.
Well, that's all right though. Well, just want to say, wholeheartedly, congratulations. This is something that has been on your radar for quite some time. And it kind of goes back to, when we were actually talking, gosh, what was this, 2023? When we were talking back in the airport right after
Chick-fil-A Airport.
conference.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was kind of interesting there. And I had said, you know what, hey, I'm not going to show up to my next conference unless I was an AO, and made it happen. And then at the same time, fast forward, you were like, you know what, hey, I want to be an AO too. And then we kind of had some offhanded conversations, at conference last year. And you kind of made that same proclamation. I don't know if you even realize you did it without doing it, but you're just like, hey, you know what? You said it, you did it. Now it's my turn. I'm going to say it, I'm going to do it. And you did it. So just want to say congratulations. And you did it, with a lot of stuff going on. Your last month, when you were running for this, you weren't even in the country. So, I mean, that's the part that's a little bit
It's
crazy with
always a
all
way
of
to
this.
make your promotion a little bit more
Yeah.
nerve-wracking. Just leave the country for the last week of your promotion.
Yeah,
Dude. Yeah.
exactly. But
So I
just
think
want to
that's not
say,
stressful at all.
yeah, I just want to say here, Wilbur, congratulations, bottom of my heart. You've earned this. You've not only been a phenomenal dad to four boys, what are they, all under seven, right? So if I remember correctly there, a phenomenal husband to your wife. I know she puts up with a lot of stuff there, but hey, you know what? Yeah, we'll just leave it at that. So, with everything there, but I mean, just the one thing that I can say is the fact that you've taken this business, you've had a lot of obstacles that you've had to work through. From juggling schedules to juggling the kids at home to whatever it is. We've had a lot of conversations about that. In child pickup lines, and that's a lot of times when we would have the conversations, but. It's just amazing to see what you've been able to accomplish despite all of this, the distractions and everything else that's going on there. So I just want to say again, congratulations. You've earned this, and want you to have a couple minutes here to actually just kind of say, hey, what has this done for you now that you are an agency owner? It's got a nice ring to it, doesn't it?
It does. It does. Yes. Yeah, no, thank you. And if I get all crooked on you, it's because I broke my chair last week and I've got it jerry rigged together. So I'm putting together a
You
GoFundMe.
just you just got a bonus, so you can afford a new
That's
chair now.
true. I didn't think of that. I'll
Yeah,
spend
use the bonus for the chair. That's a great idea.
That's a good point. But no, I appreciate it, Bob. And I meant, luckily I already took a 30-second window earlier of my gratitude towards you for that. So thanks again. But what it has done, to be honest, is it was a win that I think as people, it's hard, I think human nature to receive compliments. I think everyone gets a little ugh, a little weird about it. And also, but people also crave to have some sort of victory somewhere. And this to me, personally was a victory, but really it was a testament also to our team. And I don't just mean the folks below me, the folks above me and to the side of me. Because a lot did go into it. And it was really cool this last few months to experience growth of agents and not me. There's a few, I think Bert made it onto the call, Rod, who have really come on and have started to cast a vision for themselves to be able to execute what they want this to look like for them. And as a byproduct, we all kind of started to go together, right? And that's was like a lot of fun. That's where it gets cool. So I can't imagine like I talk to Scott like 17 times a day. But I can't imagine the conversation he has with other agents who are like doing what like Bert and Rod are doing, for instance. So I'm excited. I'm excited for that. But like more importantly, yeah, I've been here a while. Scott and I are at the first conference together. I didn't even know what an SNA was. Everyone's like, "Are you an SNA yet?" And I'm like, what is an SNA?" Right? And they're like on stage and they're like, "Did you hear America increase their term to 70 years old or whatever?" I'm like, I don't know what anyone is saying. And came back, and I mean that was in 2022. And so, like it has been a journey for sure. And no, I did not make the last couple months easy. I officiated a wedding. I was coaching two baseball teams. We had a Cub Scouts weekend camping thing, and then yeah, the officiating wedding was in Costa Rica. And then just kids in May, if you as a parent, end of school year is the absolute worst. So yeah, that's where we're at.
So what's a piece of advice that you could give a new agent here? They're looking at, the milestones, team leader, key leader, AO. What is a piece of advice that you can give them that would basically say, hey, you know what? Don't lose focus on your end goal, whatever that end goal is, AO 130, managing partner, whatever that is. What's some, advice that you can give a new agent?
And if I come off a little harsh about this, it's because I think I'm allowed to at this point. Like biggest advice is show up. Like show up. And what that means is, I mean, if when we go through those slides and you see the list of calls, right? If you see the list of calls, maybe Scott, if you don't mind like counting the actual hours those equate to, it looks like a lot and you're like, "Oh my goodness." Right? But it's not. That's over a 5-day span. And if you look at most jobs, the amount of calls and or like meetings you end up in is absolutely insane and typically a giant waste of time. And so like my biggest advice is not like you need to do this with your leads and recruit this. It's you have to get into the middle. And what that means is show up here for an hour, have your camera on if possible. I mean, showing up to the Mac room and paying attention to the graphic that Kellen posts every single day now of what time what is happening. Because if not, it's a weird business where you can end up super isolated. You can end up all by yourself in your little guest bedroom, your kitchen table, wherever you're trying to get this thing off the ground from. And it's like the blind leading the blind, except there's only one blind person and it's you. How does that make any sense? And I was joking in the chat when Scott was talking about conference of like, let me see if this happens to work before I do, and make the commitment. And it's like, why are you here? You just went through 3, 4, 6, 8 weeks of licensing, and you're saying you want something, but you're not willing to go and like have the belief in yourself to do it. And I made the joke of like, that's like saying I want to bench a certain amount before I step foot in the gym. Like that doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean? And I want to give an example of Scott. Can I share my screen?
Yeah, good. Let me make
Gimme.
you co-host.
Just for like 2 seconds. Sharing is not turned on. I don't need co-host. Just
Yeah, and I don't think this message is like harsh. I think
no.
clarity is kindness, and to be really clear on the things that have helped you get to where you are, that's being kind to the newer folks that trail, blaze the trail behind you. So when Wilbur says like I feel like I'm being harsh, he's just being real. Like these are the things that matter.
Correct. What I wanted to show 2 seconds, talking about the hours of calls. This is my notice it just says busy because I can't see her personality. This is my wife. Look, that's her little picture. Look how cute she is. And this is her schedule just today. Just today. She doesn't know I'm talking smack right now either. But like these are the amount of back-to-backs that she has between the hours of 10 and 4. She has to be present, engaging with human beings for this entire time. Okay, this is my little schedule. Accountability call. We did a game plan. We had a no-show. I got some dials and set 2 appointments. We ran an interview. And now we're here, right? And so that's my point of like the difference of what is that, Scott? Our calls are 6 hours a week versus this is one day for a normal situation.
Yeah, it's not the type of meetings, and what Wilbur's talking about is plugging into the training calls, the team calls, the national call, like those things. Yeah, maybe 6 hours for the week, but they're not the type of meetings where a new agent can just get an email just to sum up the meeting. right? I had I'll joke with one of our newer agents. He's actually on your team, Wilbur. So I won't name any names, but he texted me after one of the calls last week. And I'm saying this out of love because he knows I joked around with him a little bit, but he's like, "Hey, can I get the recording from that call? Let's just say I was your coach and this is athletics. Okay? So let's put ourselves in that position. Wilbur, you're on my team. You're one of my players, right? If you skipped practice maybe 3 days before the game, you're like, I'm just gonna bow out of practice today. But I'm gonna text my coach after practice and I'm gonna ask him if he recorded the practice so that I can take the notes away from it. What do you think you would get from that, Wilbur, as a player on my team?
Oh, you get benched.
You get benched. You wouldn't play. You just wouldn't play. They just wouldn't play you. Right. So in perspective of being, clarity is kindness, like showing up does matter. Back to your original point. It's just I got to where I am because I continually showed up every single week, week in and week out. And that's what Wilbur's telling you guys. I think that's simple.
I mean, we're just talking practice, as Bert says, right? Just practice.
I think
Practice.
Allen, I think Allen Iverson said that originally, Bob. I think
I
that was
know. I love
more
it.
Yeah, we're talking about practice. Practice makes perfect. When you go through something repeatedly and you mature through the process, that's what brings mastery to any situation. So go back to our chat a little bit earlier. Get good at the stuff that matters. Get really good at the stuff that matters. That's what all of our calls focus on. Mondays are a little bit more mindset focused, but the rest of the week is all training. We have a top producer call on Tuesdays. We have a deep dive with the sales experts on Thursdays. We have a be a better builder call on Thursdays. Are those the things that you're talking about, Wilbur?
Yeah, yeah,
Love
that's
it.
it.
Let
Like,
me ask you this, Wilbur. If you go back in time, you get in your DeLorean, go back in time, to your first 90 days, what would you do differently?
I would have I would have started the conversation. I would have started conversations of bringing folks with me a lot sooner, and getting really intentional on understanding that it's not just bringing people in. Um, it's this that we're in a situation where we can develop ourselves and others, and like getting hyper focused on that. And of course, that's all in retrospect, right? But like that would have definitely been part of it, and really honing in on my schedule, like really honing in on my schedule for sure. It wouldn't have been like up leads or do any of that. Like that ain't it. This business is it's got some more parts to it than just that. And really, if you look at the model, it is building and production. Like that's what it is. Um, and not everybody wants to get into a leadership position. I understand that, but you're also missing a giant opportunity because if you want to make more and that means you want a higher contract level, right? You sell 10 grand this month, but you get a promotion, you're going to make 5% more if you sell 10 grand, if you get promoted, right? So anybody you bring in is also raising your contract level. So it all starts to intertwine. And I'm starting to see that now, which is cool. And like I've talked to Scott about this a lot. Like it all of a sudden starts mattering. And then that's how that snowball effect starts to compound. So like I would have done that way earlier.
Oh, that's good. Love that. It's definitely good there. Do you think the leads are good here?
Garbage. No, they're great. I listen to me. Listen, if you're new or you're old, I don't care what you are. I have worked every lead that is within arm's reach of Symmetry Financial at every way possible. And honestly, they all lead back to whatever we have inside of our quality marketplace, 1000%. There's no need, and like what most people don't have, myself included, is patience. Okay. Like it's the patience to let something start to work. Why would something work right away when it's brand new,
It's
right?
really, yeah.
Why would it work when it's brand new? And so you do something for a week, 2 weeks, maybe three, and it doesn't go perfectly. You have not made $50,000. And so what do? We go over here, right? And we're like, okay, oh crap, this has been 7 days. So let me go over here, right? And it's like going from CrossFit to yoga to running, and you're like, this doesn't work. I'm not getting any results. So it's like, yeah, they work. Like they work, but you got to stick to the plan. You got to stick to the plan. I got a guy on here who somehow knows how to make some magic, but he's pivoted a couple times. He's got a green background and a white hat. And But right, so it's like stay the plan and trust yourself. So yeah, the leads work though. Yes.
Yeah, mastery takes time. Like we talk a lot about the competency square in this environment, and like the first level of competency, and Wilbur is here every time he starts with a new type of lead, right? Maybe the second square, right? You don't know what you don't know, and you don't know how to do it. Okay, maybe you go into the second square and you kind of know how to do it, but it takes yourself, like you have to force yourself to do it. You still don't know what you're doing. All right, you get to the fourth square, it's kind of a level of mastery where you know what you're doing, you don't even have to think about it. We all want to get there, but it doesn't happen when you keep like, oh, the grass is greener on the other side. Let me just go try this lead type. All the lead types, it's just a name and a phone number for somebody. What changes is you get better, you get more competent, you have a better tonality, you get a better posture towards that client, you have a better understanding of the life insurance proposition. Maybe you have a higher belief. Wilbur, talk to me about belief. And like you said this the other day on a call. I'm glad you're closing your eyes and taking a second to think about this. That was cool. That's a good leadership trait right there. Talk to me about belief and like the way you said it the other day was perfect. So I'll be quiet, but that's huge here. That's a cornerstone, by the way.
You're telling me that it's not a core value?
That's a core value. It could be a core value. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I was talking about it in a couple different in the light of a couple of things. One, sales like right this is sure you can consider yourself to be in a sales position, but also that's a whole nother like call that we can have for sure. But right now a lot feels like what do I do? Oh, I'm in sales. I'm in sales. Okay, so do you believe in what you're selling? Right, you go sell widgets, right? You can walk around a mall and they got kiosks and they're like, here, do this, spin on your finger, right? Like that's sales too. Cool, I guess. But here it's like, is this actually providing value to the consumer? We are a B2C, right? Business to consumer. We go directly to the people who are requesting information. And so if if that's the case, do we believe in the value that we are providing? So what does the product do for the people that we are selling to, right? If that's what you want to consider. We're closing the gap on a catastrophic event, which is somebody passing away, getting sick, whatever. So do you believe that if somebody dies and they get 25, 50, 500,000 from something that took you 30 minutes, is there value in that? Yes or no? You can answer that yourselves. So if that's the case, do you believe in it enough to do it for yourself? And that's what I was talking about earlier. And I know we all like just to see what the application process looks like and see what the opt submission looks like and all that. We take out a small accidental, but like I'd urge you to go make sure you're covered yourself. That's a belief that like you and I used this example the other day. I have those you don't know. If you don't know, I am married and I got 4 kids. So like, I got a mortgage, we got debt, we got things, right? And my father-in-law used to ask me all the time when we got married, do you have life insurance? I'm like, don't know what that is. First kid, don't know what that is. Twins, I don't know, dude. Stop asking me, right? Fourth kid, no, I don't have. And then I got into this, and I'm like, oh crap, right? So I went and met Bob at a boot camp in October of 2022. And I'm like, well, I need whatever. I took out an SPLI policy on myself that morning and then drove my happy self up I-75. And when I got on the interstate, I was like, oh, snap. Like, if something happens, my wife is going to get $600,000 in an accidental plan. That's a big deal. And so that belief, and now when I talk to clients, I wrote an LGA policy on the end of last week, small one, young kid. And I'm like, he's asked me, I'm like, dude, this is a great, I have the exact one. The exact one. And to be able to say that is going to help you close business and believe in what we sell. And then the other side of the belief is like, is this model actually, does it actually work? And what is the business model, right? The business model is you get to start something with a license, and all of the resources that most businesses take to get off the ground take 3, 5, 7, 10 years to get in place. Were here before you even showed up. They were here before you even showed up. And now it's hard to believe in that when you're like trying to figure it all out. But you can look around, and the way that you're not going to believe though is going back to my opening statement, which is if you find yourself alone. If you find yourself alone, it's going to be difficult. How do I know if the leads are working? I hear new agents all the time talk about they don't work. Have you heard in the last 2 weeks, her last name, she got a real Southern accent. What's her name, Scott?
Cox. Yeah, Wendy Cox.
Wendy Cox. She
Dialing D
calls
leads.
page leads before she calls her A leads every dial session. And
Yeah.
she sets appointments. So it's
Yep.
like if you're sitting there alone saying these leads don't work, have you heard somebody talk it, right? So you have to be in the middle of it to find it. You have to be in the middle of it to find it, indirectly and directly. So that I don't know if that answers your question, Scott, on the belief aspect, but
It's good.
Yeah, I think definitely. I'm sorry, I was putting a comment in the chat there. Here, let's look at, the one slide that we all brag about, Scott, is the level, or basically the road to ownership. We've got a lot of people that are on that road to ownership. We've got a lot of room for everybody to grow here. We want to have 100 agency owners here in 5 years. That's the goal put in place by the Schnitzer agency or master agency itself here. So looking at that there, and there's a lot of room to grow even on that road to ownership side of it. Talking to those people there, they're our next AOs. What is it that they need to do to get to where you're at right now?
more. Like and I don't say that like I you heard how my last few months went, right? And also there's more, and then there is the so if you heard me, if any of y'all were on the accountability call Friday, I talked about an author called Dr. Benjamin Hardy, and he has a book called The Who Not How. And a lot of the times, right, a lot of the times we focus on how am I going to do this? How did Eleanor write $746,000 in a month, right? 70,000, whatever, right? Like, how did Eleanor McNamara do that? Well, who does it? Is that really what your focus needs to be on, how somebody else did something? Or is it like, who is going to get us to that next level, right? Who is going to get us there? I did not know at one point in time I was going to cross paths indirectly from a cold market with a guy named Bert, right? I didn't know that. I didn't know I'd be blessed with that situation. I didn't know, again, a warm market. Hey, I know this guy. I met him at a coffee shop. He wants to get into sales. What do you do? In comes Rod, right? And like, so instead of focusing on how, it needs to be who, right? And the way that is, and if you don't listen to Danny Young's call, it's a 30-minute podcast style every Monday morning if you don't want to stay up till 10 p.m. like me because I'm old. But like listen to that. And he's gonna say the same message almost every single time, which is we need more people because eventually you're gonna find somebody that you click with and you can run with. And like that's the message right there. That's the message. It's like, and it's not just bringing the masses, but it's like the people who are showing up and you're willing to put that the effort and time into, like that's the message. It's like is finding good people.
Yeah.
So true.
It levels you up too. I think when you're responsible for more people, it heightens your level of responsibility for your own personal, like your own self. How you show up to team calls, how you show up to meetings, how you show up to your dial sessions and all that good stuff. All right, we're at time here. Wilbur, what do you want to leave the team with? You're our newest AO. What can you leave them with? Give them a short, like 60-second or less thing to take throughout their week.
Just stay on it. Like stay on it. Honestly, like if whatever your plan is that you have set down, that you have laid out with whoever laid it with you, like stick to it. Do not divert from the plan. And then like like I could leave you, sure, but like also more of challenge. Like there is 62 of us on this call right now. There is normally less than 50 people in the Mac room. So we as an agency, I would love to be the leading voice in there of like accountability, production, and like giving, because we have that ability to do that with our team right here under the Schnitzer name. Okay, so like I would love to be part of that. There's that dial session going out. Scott, I'll ask you from now on, like let's get us we need to be on there, right? Like I would love to be on that dial session. So those of you who want to be called up, like let's call ourselves up and get on there.
Yeah, and there's open mic time for that. I think bring it back to perspective on Wilbur's journey because I've been his friend throughout the whole thing. Okay, been I think we talk every single morning at 7 a.m., which is both of our families love that. Just ask Kate how much she loves it when I walk in the house on FaceTime with you. Guys, this is a 3-year plan. It's a 3-year plan. You want to put in 3 years of hard work, or do you want to go back to an office for another 30 or another 20? All right, 3 years of hard work. Wilbur just laid the foundation to be financially free. He's not feeling completely free from it yet because a lot of his agency is fueled by his own personal production right now. But he has a foundation for financial freedom. He has the right people in the right place and he has the right mindset gained over the last 3 years that he can go blow this thing up. So I'll say it right here. We're going to see this happen a year from now. His agency will triple, if not quadruple, in the next 12 months because of the work that was done in the first 3 years. You guys ever see that Instagram post where it says, work, 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 win, work, 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 win. And then all of a sudden it shows like the amount of work that goes into that is less and less and less. And then it's just win, 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 work, work, win, win, win. That's what Wilbur just did over the last 3 years, is he put in enough legwork to get this thing rolling. You guys will see a 4X in the next 12 months. So congrats, Wilbur. We're excited to watch you go do that, man. I know the work's already been done and you're going to continue to hit it hard this year, but the foundation that you just built is what matters. So if you're listening on this call, go build yourself a foundation. It's a 3-year plan to get yourself financial freedom, and it's available for everyone. We'll leave that with you guys this week. I'll see you guys in the Mac room. Bob, you can close this out. You're muted.
That's why I'm closing this out. I
All right,
thought you
cool.
closed this out. PSS. So, all right, everybody. Let's see y'all in the Mac room. Let's do this.
All right, y'all. Have a great week. Let's go.